All right, this week in the ever possibly confusing world of fishing, we're going to talk fishing lines. Back in the day when I started fishing, fishing lines, you really had one option. You had monofilament. Now today, things have gotten a little different, and I want to break down what is in front of you, the consumer, especially if you're new to the sport of fishing. The old standby would be monofilament. So we've seen this for years and years, and it still has a lot of applications today, but copolymer or monofilament line would be the original kind of fishing line that most of us are used to seeing. Newer to the market is fluorocarbon. Fluorocarbon is a line that is very similar in appearance to monofilament, but it's got a lot of properties that are very different. It is a bit stiffer by tradition, but the cool thing about fluorocarbon line is that it has the same light refraction index as water. Well, what does that mean? It means that it's virtually invisible. It does not reflect light. The other thing it has is a little bit less stretch than traditional monofilament, making it a bit more sensitive. And lastly, it is also more abrasion resistant. So when you're fishing around rocks or zebra mussels, fluorocarbon tends to be the pick of choice for a lot of people. Now, when it comes to monofilament and fluorocarbon lines, they're available in a variety of pound tests. From 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 17, up to a 100-pound test. One of the ones that's been around a number of years but really changed the game has been braided super lines. This is Power Pro. The cool thing about braided super lines are they last an incredibly long time because they have zero memory. The other thing is they have incredibly small diameter based on their pound test. I've got here 50-pound test. This has got 12-pound test mono or fluorocarbon diameter. Lastly with this stuff is it's got zero stretch, so it's incredibly sensitive. When it comes to braided line, they go a little bit differently. They start at 5-pound, there's 8, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 65, 80, and 100, and actually go up to 200. But again, for spinning setups in traditional freshwater fisheries, I always recommend 5, 8, 10, 15, and 20-pound work perfectly with that mid-size spinning reel. For traditional freshwater use for most people using spinning reels, I always recommend you run 4, 6, 8, up to a maximum of 10-pound test monofilament or fluorocarbon on your spinning setup. So as a new fisherman, I would recommend 2 lines to start. A good quality monofilament is going to be great because it floats. It's going to be great for working top waters. It's going to have a bit of stretch and forgiveness. And when you're fishing heavier cover like we're sitting in here in these pencil reeds, a braided line like Power Pro. That's going to go a very long way. And if you're using a spinning setup like we talked about in the last one, I would recommend 10, 15, or 20-pound Power Pro spooled up with a little bit of fluorocarbon, and you're going to have a great time fishing.